So hearty welcome to all of you. So today with us we have the rank holders of this year. Ishita, who has secured rank 1 in the civil services examination. We have Garima, who has secured rank 2. Uma has not been able to join us, and we have Mayur, who has secured 5th rank in the civil services examination, and we have Rahul, who has secured 10th rank in the examination. So पहले तो many congratulations to all of you. All right. So सबसे पहले when the results came, so each of you, I just want to know, मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ, what was your first reaction? आपका पहला reaction क्या था? आप कर क्या रहे थे और आपका पहला reaction क्या था? इशिता.
So until morning, of course, given the uncertainty of the exam, I was also preparing for prelims. But the first reaction was one of gratitude to everyone who has supported me in this journey, my friends, my family, and just felt that they have invested their time and emotionally so much in me. So I felt happy that they are all happy and they are all free now.
इतना तो नहीं सोचा होगा मेरे ख्याल से, पहले तो कंट्रोल F किया होगा, तो उस समय क्या सीन था? Who saw your result? आपका रिजल्ट किसने देखा था?
सर कंट्रोल F से बड़ा डर लगता है हमें एज एस्पिरेंट्स, क्योंकि फर्स्ट 2 अटेम्प्ट्स कंट्रोल F जब नॉट फाउंड आया था तो द फीलिंग वाज वेरी बैड. सो फ्रॉम माय थर्ड अटेम्प्ट आई स्टार्टेड स्क्रोलिंग, चाहे वो प्रीलिम्स हो मेंस, सो आई वुड ऑलवेज स्क्रोल एंड टेक माय टाइम. बट थैंकफुली दिस टाइम माय फ्रेंड सॉ माय रिजल्ट and he had called me and he told me ki you're on the first rank, so I didn't have to check the PDF after that.
गरिमा, आप क्या कर रही थी जब रिजल्ट आया तो?
Sir, I had my modern history book open on one end and I was looking continuously at the PDF, and as soon as it got uploaded, I think it was 1:32 PM when I saw it, and I was shocked. I could not believe it's rank 2, so I thought maybe there's some problem, it's a fake PDF or something. But then everyone started calling me, and then I thought that it's true. And I felt relieved that अच्छा चलो, I don't have to take the prelims this year. This was the biggest relief, and that's it.
Mayur?
Okay, so there was this WhatsApp group, and वहाँ पे लोग बता रहे थे कि वेबसाइट अभी सर्वर अभी बिजी हो गया है, तो मैंने भी चेक किया, सर्वर बिजी आ गया, तो ऊपर से नीचे तक ऐसा ठंडा हो गया. तो हनुमान चालीसा लगा लिया कान में, तो उसके बाद थोड़े टाइम बाद जब PDF आ गया तब देखा, तो पहले तो जैसे गरिमा ने बताया वैसा ही था कि पहले लगा कि ये तो मोस्ट प्रोबेबली कुछ गलत ही हो गया होगा, फेक हो गया होगा, क्योंकि पिछले दिन से ही कोई बता रहा था कि फेक PDFs आता है तो दो बिवेयर ऑफ डोज. तो मैं अपनी मम्मी को बताया कि 5 आया है, किसी को बोलना मत, फेक हो सकता है. तो थोड़ी देर बाद फिर जब कॉल्स आने लगा तब हो गया कि चलो ठीक ही है.
हाउ अबाउट यू राहुल, क्या कर रहे थे आप?
मैं तो खाना खा रहा था सर. रिजल्ट शायद 1:30 बजे के आसपास आए थे, तो आई वॉज हैविंग माई लंच, और जैसे ही नाम देखा अपना रैंक 10 पे, तो वट एवर आई सेड मैं कैमरे पे नहीं बोल सकता. बट आई वॉज वेरी हैप्पी दैट मतलब मैं इस साइकिल से निकल गया. दैट वॉज द बिगेस्ट सेंस ऑफ रिलीफ.
तो योर इंट्रोडक्शंस आर नॉट नीडेड, बट मैं एक बार चाहूँगा कि आप लोग ब्रीफली अपने बेसिक बैकग्राउंड के बारे में, आप कहाँ से हैं, आपकी स्कूलिंग कहाँ से हुई, फैमिली में कौन कौन है ना, एक बार उसके बारे में थोड़ा बता सकें. इशिता?
So Ishita Kishore, I have done my graduation in economics from Sri Ram College of Commerce, Delhi University. I was born in Hyderabad, and I've done my schooling in 2-3 cities, but mostly from Delhi, Air Force Bharati. And I also worked in corporate sector for 2 years in Ernst & Young. And then I decided that perhaps what I'm really passionate about is public service. So then I left my job and I started preparing full time.
Okay. So Ishita, I have gotten a lot of messages from a lot of people, right from a bookstore owner to professors of Patna University, ये पता करने के लिए कि Ishita really from Patna or not, or Bihar or not. So what are your links? Do you have any links there?
Yes sir, both my parents, my mother and father, both are from Patna. So I'm 100% from Patna, but it's just that I was born and brought up in other places because of my father's profession. So we kept moving around and finally settled in Uttar Pradesh.
All right. Garima?
Sir, I was born and brought up in Bihar itself, in Buxar district, and I did my basic primary, secondary education from there. But for my graduation, I came here to University of Delhi. I did BCom from here, and I was also pursuing chartered accountancy. But midway, I thought I should give civil services an honest attempt. So I got through this, and I decided to get into this.
Mayur?
Sir, I was born and brought up in Tejpur, Assam, and I have done my schooling in Tejpur itself. And after that, I did my graduation in MBBS from Guwahati Medical College, Assam. After that, I was doing 1 year rural service as a medical officer, and I was in service till like 10 days before my prelims, and this was my first attempt, and I think that is it.
Rahul, आप?
Born and brought up in Bihar, Patna +2 तक, फिर graduated in engineering from NIT Trichy. उसके बाद मैंने 2 साल कॉर्पोरेट में काम किया. Then I left and prepared full time. अब तो 5 साल हो गए प्रिपरेशन करते करते.
अच्छा, so I think you have been working before and you also have been working before and you were working in, तो आपका तो खैर कॉर्पोरेट नहीं, तो you were working in the corporate sector. So जब काम कर रहे थे कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर में, तो at what point did you decide to quit the job? Like, did you not try to work along with the corporate sector and try to clear, या फिर क्या पॉइंट था, क्या मोटिवेशन क्या था, कि या क्या सोच कर इसमें आने का सोचा आपने?
So I think when we start working, the first year is full of exposure and opportunities. So back then, while working, I also had the opportunity to visit Canada. So I was taking the experiences in. But after 2 years, I felt that I should sit and think that what do I really want to do in the long run. In the next 3 to 4 decades, किस टाइप का करियर एक बिल्ड करना चाहती हूँ मैं. तब मुझे लगा that this is the direction, having a more connect with governance and using whatever skills I have in that direction is a better journey for me, and that was the moment I decided.
And Rahul?
Sir, people of Bihar do not have a choice. Services उनका first preference always रहता है. But yes, corporate job was very satisfying for me. मतलब it was very fulfilling. और सर्विसेज में जाने का बहुत श्योर नहीं था. आई वॉज ऑन एंड ऑफ, मुझे लगता था तैयारी करूँ ना करूँ. कई बार ऐसा हुआ कि 3 महीने पढ़ के छोड़ दिया. बट आई सॉ मैनी ऑफ माई फ्रेंड्स ऑन फोरम एंड अदर प्लेटफॉर्म्स हु गॉट सेलेक्टेड. तब मुझे एक कन्विक्शन है कि नहीं, इवन आई कैन डू इट. एंड इट वॉज देन आई डिसाइडेड टू टेक द प्लंज बैक इन 2017-18.
तो एक चीज़ पूछना चाहूँगा आप लोगों से. देखिए, फोरम के बारे में जनरली फोरम लोग आते हैं अपने सेकंड थर्ड अटैम्प्ट के बाद. फर्स्ट अटैम्प्ट के पहले तो बहुत बच्चों को फोरम के बारे में पता नहीं रहता है. तो आप लोगों को फोरम के बारे में कैसे पता चला?
So I was looking for test series to join, especially for mains. So in my second attempt, when I did not clear prelims, I had decided that I would still wholeheartedly prepare for mains and simulate it back at home. So in those 2 months, I did write the 8 tests, and they didn't go that well. But it gave me that practice and that vision. तो तब फोरम के बारे में पहली बार सुना था from my friends. And then क्योंकि मुझे ये सिस्टम अच्छा लगा, तो मैंने थर्ड अटेम्प्ट में फिर से फोरम में ही टेस्ट सीरीज लिया. अच्छा, गरिमा?
Sir, I think I had a lot of friends who took MGP and the Pincers classes in 2021, and they cleared through also. So they shared some coupons with me to use. I think it's through that I got to know about Forum. Until then, I was not associated with Forum. So then I took MGP and Current Affairs classes both.
मयूर, आपको कैसे पता चला?
सर, मेरा एक फ्रेंड था, यहाँ दिल्ली में प्रिपेयर कर रहा था, तो he suggested me about the MGP program. And I enrolled online. I gave a few tests, and also since I was under time crunch, so I compensated that with analysis of the model answers that are given by Forum. Those are very wholesome model answers.
राहुल, आपको कैसे पता चला फोरम के बारे में?
फोरम तो सर मैं 2016 से 15 से हूँ मेरा अकाउंट वहाँ पे, जब discuss.ForumIAS हुआ करता था. इट वॉज चांस. जब मैंने प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट करी तो आई वॉज लुकिंग फॉर अ प्लेटफॉर्म टू इंटरेक्ट विद पीपल जो मुझे गाइड कर सके. फॉर्चुनेटली मैंने गूगल सर्च किया फोरम फॉर IAS, तो फोरम IAS आया. एंड सिंस देन आई हैव बीन अ पार्ट. फोरम, फिर क्वेस्ट बना, फिर वो भी टूट गया, अभी कुछ और बना. MGP के बारे में तो आई केम टू नो फ्रॉम फोरम इटसेल्फ. वहाँ पे अनुदीप सर का खास करके MGP कॉपीज आई हैव स्टिल गॉट देम इन माई लैपटॉप, और उनकी ही राइटिंग स्टाइल it sort of revolutionized the way of answer writing.
तो पहले एक ट्रेंड ये था कि जनरली पीपल यूज टू पास आउट फ्रॉम ग्रेजुएशन एंड आफ्टर दैट दे स्टार्टेड प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर सिविल सर्विसेज. तो लेकिन अभी क्या है, मैं इंक्रीजिंगली देख रहा हूँ बच्चे सेकेंड ईयर थर्ड ईयर, वेदर इट इज़ दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी, वेदर इट इज़ IITs NITs और इवन अदर इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस और लॉ स्कूल्स, अभी ये सेकेंड ईयर थर्ड ईयर से बच्चे प्रिपेयर करना शुरू कर चुके हैं. सो व्हाट इज़ योर ओपिनियन ऑन दिस? शुड दे फिनिश ऑफ देयर ग्रेजुएशन ईयर्स and then start preparing, या फिर they could get started earlier?
So I think it depends on the kind of opportunities they have in front of them. Back in my college, I had the opportunity to work in corporate sector, so it felt that why not take in that exposure. So please, the eligibility is to be a graduate. Please take your graduation very seriously. ग्रेजुएशन छोड़ के बाकी चीज़ें करना मुझे नहीं सही लगेगा. फर्स्ट फोकस इज देयर. इफ यू कैन मेक सम टाइम आउट एंड इफ यू आर पैशनेट अबाउट इट, देन इट्स ऑलवेज गुड टू स्टार्ट.
Garima?
Sir, I think I could not enjoy my graduation days to the fullest, but I think it's very important because the exposure that you get during your graduation reflects in your interview stage also. It gets reflected everywhere. Ultimately, what we write in prelims and mains is an amalgamation of whatever you have learned in your 20-21 years of life. So I do not suggest rushing into this in your graduation itself, but towards the end, once you've committed, then I think in your last semester you can think of compromising a little on that and focusing more on civils.
Mayur?
So I would mostly agree with what they have said, that the graduation should not get compromised to that great extent. However, one can actually, I think there is sufficient time to go for at least like 1 hour or 1.5 hour if they want. However, the main or the basics of graduation should not get hampered because of this.
I agree with everyone here. Graduation should be done with all sincerity. However, the decision of going into a job and then coming back to services or immediately going into this civil services preparation is a very personal call.
Coming to the prelims examination, so prelims examination does remain an Achilles heel for most of us except Mayur, I think, who has been able to clear it in very first attempt. So what is the trick to clear the prelims examination, Ishita?
So I don't know if I am the best person, but if it's about finding your own mistakes, then I can say that I've spent 2 years just finding and improving myself. I always kept the question papers on my study table, and I found multiple ways of solving the same question. So that helped me in expanding my analytical abilities. एक ही question अगर solve कर लिया, I didn't stop at that. I used to ask my friends if they have a different way of solving that question. How are they thinking? What are the other knowledge material or in the direction in which we can think? So, and finding more and more mistakes in my answers. So I think that's what helped me in my third attempt.
Garima?
Sir, I think what worked for me was in the second attempt especially to not be very underconfident in GS1 and not be very overconfident in CSAT. I think take both the papers with equal seriousness. Anyone can surprise you that day.
Mayur?
So for me, I think the first factor was I relied on not very vast amount of materials. My sources were almost limited, good quality but limited, and I went for multiple rounds of revision. So that was the first thing, and also I was flexible with the number that I was going to attempt in the prelims. Like most of what I had in mind, that I'll be probably attempting around 80 to 85, but on the exam date I actually ended up attempting around 71. Because I realized that the accuracy that day was around like 45. I was almost sure about 45 of those. So I knew that I don't need to take so much risk. So having that idea about accuracy rate is also important.
I agree with the revision part, syllabus, analysis. I believe that after a point where you have done all the hard work, you should pray to God that you should clear prelims and do nothing better than that.
Acha, with respect to newspaper and note making, so which newspaper did you guys used to read? Second, newspaper से notes बनाते थे या नहीं? And thirdly, otherwise, what is your general strategy for note making? Digital notes or paper notes or what? So Ishita?
So in my opinion, newspaper reading is extremely important, and I have given it importance across the 3 attempts and across the 3 stages. And there is a different perspective with which you have to read the newspaper for each stage. So because it keeps you very connected, it's always good to take in that information firsthand rather than seeing someone else's derived information or someone else's notes. So I relied on my newspaper notes. I started with handwritten, लेकिन फिर मैंने online कर लिया था because that is more efficient. And एक newspaper पढ़ा है for prelims and mains, but for interview I was reading 2 to 3 newspapers.
And did you make notes from the newspaper all the time?
So actually it's very fast because ज़्यादा चीज़ें prelims related होती नहीं है. If there is some word जिसका definition हम ढूंढ सकते हैं तो we can quickly do that. It doesn't take a lot of time, just 10 to 15 minutes every day on newspaper notes.
Sir, I think I started with one newspaper in the beginning, and I used to make paper notes.
You could name the newspaper as well?
Yeah, I read The Hindu, but I think everybody read it here. So I started with The Hindu, and I used to make notes. So I think I made 10 pages of A4 sheet notes every day, because I had to also go back, Google, understand the context of what was happening in past 2 to 3 months. So it took me a lot of time, I think 3 hours per day for newspapers. But later on, from the second, third month onwards, I realized I'll not be able to revise it. So I turned it online and took up only that aspect from the newspaper which I'll use in my mains answers. And I left the remaining revision part to whatever compilations I could get access to.
Mayur?
Sir, I had extreme time crunch and I could not actually go for newspapers. I would not recommend that to others. If I had the luxury of time, then I would have gone for those. There was no notes from newspapers. I had to rely on compilations, and also I went for value addition by searching on Google.
Rahul?
Sir, note making from newspaper is something that I have never done. What I have read newspaper is for general awareness. Other than that, note taking for me has always been in the pen and paper mode. Digital mode, may I find it a little inconvenient, although this depends on the location of preparation and how comfortable one is using the digital mode.
For the prelims examination, how much time do you think should one dedicate exclusively to prelims? Should it be all integrated या फिर prelims को थोड़ा time दे देना चाहिए? Forum, as forum, we always say एक 5 month का हम कहते हैं कि 5 months आप दे दो अगर थोड़ा सा सेफ चलना है तो. लेकिन यू गाइज आर द प्रैक्टिशनर्स एंड यू गाइज आर द टॉपर्स, तो अपना बताओ कितना लगता है कितना समय प्रीलिम्स को अलग से देना चाहिए?
थर्ड अटेम्प्ट में तो बिल्कुल ही सेफ खेला था. जनवरी से प्रीलिम्स के लिए शुरू हो गई थी एंड 100% टाइम टू प्रीलिम्स, प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस एंड टेस्ट्स.
यहाँ पर जो 7 AM वाले टेस्ट होते थे उसको ठीक से दिया था. मैंने देखा कि यू हैव डन द रिन्यूअल्स आल्सो, सो यू नॉट लाइक द वन हु वुड रन अवे. मतलब मेरा कैलकुलेशन ये है, बट तो उसको ठीक से.
आई हैव नॉट मिस्ड अ सिंगल टेस्ट.
यू डिड नॉट मिस अ सिंगल टेस्ट,
बट इट माइट नॉट रिफ्लेक्ट ऑनलाइन. कभी-कभी हम पेपर्स एक्सचेंज कर लेते थे तो बट या वी डिड हैव अ पीयर ग्रुप दैट हेल्प्ड. It was not my own discipline as such, but लगता था कि the group is so disciplined and सब कर रहे हैं तो मुझे भी करना चाहिए. So fortunately the peer group was good and we all would discuss the questions also later.
यहाँ पर ऑफलाइन कर रही थी या ऑनलाइन कर रही थी? घर पे कर रहे थे टेस्ट लिखने के लिए. लेकिन आप ये ग्रीन चेयर्स वाली क्लासरूम पीसी में
So MGP के लिए to simulate the environment was necessary. तो मैंने सुबह शाम and next day सुबह शाम 2 दिन में लगातार 4 पेपर्स लिखे.
गरिमा, प्रीलिम्स के लिए आपको क्या लगता है कितना टाइम लगेगा?
After having failed my first attempt, prelims became a nightmare. तो मैंने 1 जनवरी से ही सोचा कि सिर्फ prelims करते हैं 5 months. So I gave 1 month exclusively to CSAT. I don't think anyone has given so much time. I studied CSAT for 8 hours a day, and then from 1st Feb onwards I did prelims. So I gave approximately a good 5 months, but in this time when I was preparing, I could not. But yeah, 5 months. I think for if you're in your first attempt, 5 months is required.
Should I ask you this question to you, Mayur?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. How much time do you think you have not?
I was preparing in an integrated menu till December. Then I had planned that I'll be starting it on January. But I panicked so much that I started exactly on 25th of December. I remember because I went out with my friends for Christmas, and then when I came back, I decided that okay, this is enough. I should start prelims now.
Rahul, कितना टाइम लगता है? You've seen everything, so.
So मेरा थोड़ा सा I have a different take on this. In your words, we should peak just before prelims. We should not peak after or much before. So for me, it was 2 months of full throttle preparation for prelims.
एक क्वेश्चन, प्रीलिम्स का पेपर आप लोगों ने या तो देखा होगा इस बार का या फिर दोस्तों से सुना होगा, तो कितने लोगों को लग रहा है कि इस बार प्रीलिम्स निकल जाता? गरिमा, पेपर देख के क्या लग रहा है?
2 आवर के प्रेशर में बैठकर देखते तो वो अलग पर्सपेक्टिव होता है, एंड जस्ट गोइंग थ्रू इट, आई थिंक इट वाज रियली अ चेंज्ड पैटर्न. इट वाज डिफिकल्ट, नो डाउट.
मयूर
सर, अभी तो फुल एकदम देखा नहीं है, ऊपर से अराउंड जो 50-60 देखा है, तो हाँ किया तो जा सकता था, लेकिन डेफिनेटली डिफरेंट तो था काफ़ी.
राहुल,
मैंने अपने दोस्तों से सुना पेपर कैसा, और फिर मैंने पेपर देखा ही नहीं सर.
Coming to the mains examination, so what is the difference in approach between the prelims when you study for the prelims versus the mains examination?
So for me, especially after seeing this year's paper also, and last year भी कुछ questions में हमने देखा था pair वाले questions आ रहे थे. इस बार भी the pattern has changed. So an analytical and mind and a presence of mind is very important for prelims for those 2 hours. For mains, I think the practice that we bring with us of writing and of integrating ideas and of linking things beforehand, that helps us a lot in the exam, because there we are just quickly expressing without thinking a lot.
Garima?
So I think your preparation for prelims can be done in 5 months, but your preparation for mains is done in your entire lifetime, I think. I remember quoting examples from 9th standard or 12th standard, whatever I have read in life. So mains actually gives you the platform to express who you really are. So it's a whole different game altogether, prelims and mains.
Mayur?
Sir, I would agree with what they have said, and I would like to add that I relied on much more on value addition, be it in the form of statistical data, reports, because those are not actually required in prelim stage, but quoting those data, reports, schemes, anecdotes and all, I actually relied on them for the mains answer writing.
Rahul?
Sir, I think I have similar views. Prelims preparation is a part of the bigger picture, the mains preparation. So prelims knowledge does help in mains, data, facts, figures. So it can be done integratedly in the initial phases, but it requires a different approach. Answer writing and solving objective questions both are fundamentally very different things.
Coming to, let's say, General Studies Paper 1. So some people think world history, post-independence history, because they have less number of questions, we should leave it all together. While some people, so I asked this question to Shruti last year, and she said, she had a certain view. She said, "Pehle to mera history hai, so history optional hai, so I will not be able to." But she was of a certain view. I want to know this year toppers, would you leave world history and post-independence because less number of questions are there?
Sir, very honestly, if I'm writing mains, I would leave no stone unturned. So I would cover everything. And world history, fortunately, I had some idea because of my optional again. So I did know about the major events, but I did see the previous year questions also and what direction they're going in. So I should just know the major events apart from what the NCERT offers us.
How about you, Garima?
So I took world history as a platform to use examples in essay and ethics. So I studied world history with that perspective in mind, that even if I give 3 days to world history, I'll have a lot of examples which I'll be able to use at other places. So I did that sincerely. In post-independent, I did it only in 6 hours, whatever summary I could get from anywhere, and that's it.
Okay, so I'm even surprised to know that my strategy was same as Garima. I had actually learned world history in a very detailed manner. I was sure that I'll be quoting them in my essay and my ethics paper. And with respect to post-independence, I think 1 or 2 days is like enough. One can cover it up.
How about you, Rahul?
Sir, I think same. It should not be left untouched, although the depth of preparation can vary. Like I prepared post-independence more in detail vis-a-vis the world history because I found the syllabus of world history pretty vast. So, but yes, they should not be left untouched because easy questions should not be missed.
So coming to अगर General Studies Paper 2 देखते हैं, so we all begin with reading the Bible, that is the Lakshmikant for the prelims. Now, how much does this rescue you in the mains examination? I'm assuming सब लोगों ने MGP टेस्ट लिखा है, तो थोड़ा क्रेडिट इस चीज़ का रहना चाहिए कि भाई उसके ऊपर हम लोग जाते हैं, वहीं से हमें रिजल्ट आते हैं. But still, as students, as aspirants, what do you feel? Like, is Lakshmikant sufficient for the mains? या उसके ऊपर जाना पड़ेगा? क्या लगता है इशिता?
So GS2 में it can be a good starting point about knowing the context of things, and Lakshmikant के second half में जो हम prelims में avoid करते हैं कि किसने क्या कहा, what is the why is it called sui generis or things like that. That explanation is given in the book, so those can be good inputs. Apart from that, sir, newspaper reading did help me whenever any article used to come on judiciary or about the constitution or about certain amendments. So that value addition also did help me. And sir, the IR part in GS2, that I took a lot of help from my optional. So GS2 I think was fairly covered for me.
Garima?
Sir, I think Lakshmikant will help you write a good introduction. For example, I think in MGP there was a question on CAGs. You can just start article 148 talks about this. But it only provides you, I think, 10 to 20% of the content you can write in an answer. So I took Lakshmikant, for example, if there is a chapter on federal structure, I'll study whatever is given in Lakshmikant and then Google it and see the current issues. If there is cooperative federalism, I remember last year there was the Minerva Mills case going on, competitive cooperative federalism. So you need to take it as a cue that these are the indicative topics and then prepare it in the current context. This is what I did.
And you also had taken here paper 2 and paper 3 classes here.
Yeah, I had taken classes from Dipin sir. I think it contributed a lot. And sir has divided his classes into IR, polity, but trust me, the content which he gives in his classes is paper neutral. I wrote it even in my optional, some of the stuff. And I wrote it in commerce and accountancy. You just need to be smart enough to switch the context. And sir teaches that very well. So I think GS2, I was very sure. IR especially, I did not read one page extra from Dipin sir's note, apart from his notes. So I think it was very good.
Mayur?
Sir, I would agree that Lakshmikant is a very good starting point. That would form the basic. But for means answer writing, definitely one needs to go for some significant amount of value addition. Be that from online sources available, from test series available, or whatever case laws, for example, that can be a good way of value addition. So I think significant amount of value addition is required on the foundation that is built on Lakshmikant.
Rahul?
So I agree. Lakshmikant sir ki book is like necessary but not sufficient. It is like the basics. So you should extract main specific things from the book, like case laws, article number, opinions of scholars. Other than that, value addition happens with any of the resources we can refer to.
So I would also like to add one more thing. While I was doing Lakshmi, so this all of this mains preparation for Lakshmikant cannot happen in those 3 months. While you are doing it for prelims, do it in a manner that you can use it for means. I remember the white side of the book of the Lakshmikant. I had all the sticky notes with case studies of the relevant chapter there. So for example, if there is the part of president's the pardon that president provides, there are 3 or 4 case laws, Epuru Sudhakar case and everything. I'd written it there only, so that every time I revise Lakshmikant at least 5 to 6 times for prelims, I'm also done with the mains part of it. It makes your prelims analytical questions easier, it makes your mains work easier.
Yes, I would also like to add, I had followed similar strategy. I had whatever value addition I did it on the Lakshmikant itself.
Yes.
That can be done.
Just one book, but make that book, you have to make it your own version of your book.
Yes.
So I had pasted and stapled pages separately at the end of the chapter if there's anything extra that I need to do.
Check बात ethics वाली red book किसी ने पढ़ा है या नहीं पढ़ा है?
मैंने पढ़ा है that.
All right, paper 3